Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I want to talk to you about something that is completely and utterly different to anything I have ever spoken about on this channel before. It's much more of a personal video today, something that's important to me, and that is fitness. Now, before any of you guys click away, or you go in the comments down below and you're like, what the hell man, I didn't subscribe for this. Hold tight. If this isn't your thing, that's completely cool. I'm not about to start preaching and be like, yo, put your controller down, pick up a dumbbell, go to the gym. That's not what I'm here to do. But fitness has fast become an incredibly important part of my life. And it's something that I thought I would share with you guys because I want to talk about my journey, because if you've been on this channel long enough and you've been subscribed long enough, then you might have already seen the kind of visible differences in me. And if you haven't, then maybe you kind of just sort of like want to know more about it, or maybe it's one of those things that maybe you guys out there as gamers want to get fit yourself, but you don't necessarily know where to start. So perhaps through me sharing my story, you might kind of have some insight into things you could do if this is something that you care about. If it's not, as mentioned, completely cool. Come back tomorrow. There'll be regular videos, be back to normal proceedings. But I do want to talk about this because, as mentioned, it's something that's really important to me. It is something that, you know, gaming is one of my core hobbies. Gaming is a big part of my life. And the other kind of core hobby, core kind of component, is fitness. That's one of the things that also takes a lot of my time. It's something that I dedicate a lot of time to, something I focus really hard on. And it just sort of, drives me forward. It kind of gives me something to aim for. And I just, really enjoy sort of seeing the progress that I've made. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you like this kind of content, if you want to see more about this, if this is something you guys would like me to expand on and perhaps work into the channel, then let me know in the comments down below. Of course, like would be super appreciated as well. But let's start with the why. Why did I start this journey in the first place? And for me, it was ultimately because I got to a point where I just wasn't happy. Ultimately, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to just your own well-being, you should just be happy in yourself. And if you are happy, that's cool. And I got to this point at the end of 2016 where I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I am not happy with the way that I am, right? I work, obviously YouTube is my full-time job now. I used to work at Microsoft, and obviously when you work for a company, you leave the house, you go to work, and you're traveling, you're walking and things like that. But when you work for yourself, I spend a lot of time in this room editing, pair that with back then a bad diet, just kind of hours and hours of gaming and basically just never leaving my room. It's safe to say, it wasn't very healthy. I got to a point where I looked in the mirror and I was like, I am not happy with myself. So I set about to change that. Now I've tried over the years to go to different gyms. I've tried to get memberships, and every single time I kind of go there with no real idea as to what I'm doing. I, fumble around for a few months, realize that I've made no progress, and then I quit. This time I was like, no, I'm doing it right. So I signed up to a gym that was nearby me. It was one of the slightly more expensive gyms, and I did that because I was like, if I spend a bit more money, I'm not going to want to waste that money, and therefore I'm going to make this work. So I signed up at a gym, I got a membership, I also got a personal trainer, and I've always been one of those people that if you write something down, or if I write something down, I can kind of follow it to the letter. So I got him to write me up a plan, and I followed every single step. Now, that began at the end of 2016, and for the first, say, couple of months, I was kind of just doing the workouts that he gave me. But for any of you that have, you've probably heard this, even if fitness isn't really your thing, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to kind of being fit, it's kind of like 70% your nutrition, and then the rest of it is working out. So obviously, as part of this journey, I then got in touch with my personal trainer. I was like, look, I'm working out, I'm following your plans, but I need to make sure I'm eating properly. So I then got him to put me in touch with a nutritionist, who then basically wrote me up a plan. And I'll be honest, the plan that she wrote up at the time was kind of crazy and a little bit like over the top, and I would not want anybody else to follow it. But at that point, I was so driven, I was like, I'm gonna make changes. I followed it to the letter. So that basically involved eating like chicken and broccoli and pasta and fish and super boring meals for a long time, for basically 3 months. But I still followed it because I was like, I'm gonna do this. And in that 3 months, I lost probably about 3 stone. So I don't normally share this kind of stuff, but on Instagram, I actually shared my progress photo at the end of 2017. So this right here is me when I started, me at the end of 2017. So that's kind of like a year's worth of progress. But I basically started doing that. So I started working through, following the nutrition plan, and ultimately what it boiled down to was I was eating in what is known as a caloric deficit. Basically, you have a certain number of calories you burn per day. If you eat more than that, you put on weight. If you eat less than that, you lose weight. It's kind of simple in the scientific sense. Obviously, it comes down to actually having the willpower to do it, but the actual process is pretty simple. So you pair, being in a caloric deficit with working out. And, I said to my trainer when I started, I was like, I don't like cardio. I don't want to sit on a treadmill. I don't want to run. I don't want to cycle. I don't want to row. I want to lift weights. So I was like, I don't care how long it takes me. I just want to get in a better state. So I wasn't there for kind of a quick fix, like lose your weight in 2 months. I was like, even if it takes me 2 years, I'm doing it this way. So pairing good nutrition with the workouts that I was given, I then, over the course of about 3 months, I lost a large degree of my initial weight. And then the remainder of the year was then kind of slightly slower process, because if you haven't trained for a while, then typically, you lose the initial weight quite fast, and then the rest of it kind of tends to plateau a little bit. But that's basically what I started to do. And in the process of doing that, I kind of discovered my love for weightlifting. So, I do a lot of kind of conventional compound movements. So, deadlifts, bench press, squats, things like that. And even though it wasn't my initial goal, because my initial goal was just to go and like lose weight and kind of, get in better shape. But then by discovering that, I actually kind of discovered a love for, strength-based training, and I started sort of shooting for PRs. So like, hitting like a, good deadlift, a good squat, a good bench. And then that kind of carried on into 2018. And then somewhere around the kind of mid of 2018, I realized that I lost direction a little bit. I realized that because I focused so much on strength, I'd never quite achieved the goal that I initially set out to do, which was to kind of get myself into like a really trim like state that I was happy about. So I then refocused my goals, and that's actually where I'm at right now. Now at the beginning of 2019, I'm currently on a shred program, which is going to run for about 14 weeks. Should therefore get me down to around 10-12% body fat. I'll then get to the point where I've got like visible abs and I'll be like shredded, and then I'll go lean bulk. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So the whole process of like, from beginning to end, like I got involved, or I kind of got started because I wasn't happy with where I was at. I then started with like some basic weight training exercises, and then paired that with good nutrition. And I then followed on from that with continued updates. I still to this day train with my trainer every single week. Even though I kind of know what I'm doing now, it's just nice to have someone to train with. So I train with him on a weekly basis. And a lot of what I do is, it is still weight-based stuff. I do have a few cardio things thrown in. I've got some HIIT stuff. I've got some like cycling, some kind of low intensity stuff. But again, because I want to build like a lot of muscle, I'm not really focused too tough on like heavy cardio. But I then followed that throughout for quite some time. And then I got to a point where like, even now, I'm definitely happy in the way that I am. I've still got my personal goals. There's still a lot of things that I want to achieve, both kind of like physically and aesthetically as well. But either way, I then went from a position where I was super unhappy to a point where now I'm actually really happy. And the best bit is I'm still able to do all of this whilst playing games. Like, as a gamer, I think it's one of those things where a lot of the time as a gamer, you think to yourself, well, I kind of want to do that, but I also kind of want to play this game for 10 hours a day. Surely I can't do both, but you can. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I've always been a morning person. I get up every morning, I go to the gym, I come back, I work on videos all day, I play games, I do everything I want to do, and I can kind of fit that into a normal schedule. So it is for sure possible. Even if I was working a regular job, it's still something that I would be able to fit in, and it doesn't necessarily have to detract from my game time. And even when it comes to food, you don't even have to eat like super boring food all the time. You can eat kind of what you want, so long as it's within the confines of what you're aiming towards. So again, I'm currently in a caloric deficit, so I can still have nice food. I just eat that within my confines. So anyway, I don't really want to kind of dive too much into the actual food stuff, because that's one of those things where if you guys want to know more about fitness related stuff, especially for like gamers, then I can definitely do more videos on that. But this was more so just kind of about my journey. So like, that's where I began, that's where I kind of got to, and that's my goal right now. And one of the things that I am actually doing is, if you guys are part of the Arekkz Gaming Discord, then you might know already, or maybe you don't, we actually have a fitness channel, and in here is typically where a lot of us will sort of share what we're doing at the moment. We've got loads of people in there that'll talk about, their current workouts, what their kind of goals are, what they're working towards. I share some of the stuff in there. I started posting on my Instagram, like the food that I cook, the macro breakdowns for people that are interested. And I've even started to kind of give a few people some advice in the Discord about, how to structure their nutrition. To be clear, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not qualified in that respect, but there's some kind of just general knowledge stuff that I've been trying to sort of share with people, because the one thing about this is, if you do want to get started, sometimes it's just so daunting. There is so much stuff out there that you just don't know what's right, you don't know what's bro science, you don't know what's actually science. So what I've been trying to do for the Discord is essentially just share what's worked for me and share that with other people. So for anyone that is keen to get started, then if you want to head over to the Arekkz Gaming Discord, the link is in the description box down below. You can drop by the fitness channel, we can chat about things, we can kind of work out what your goals are, or even if you are someone that is actively you know, working out yourself, maybe you just want to share that with other people, have like an outlet to kind of motivate yourself, motivate other people, then definitely drop by. But for the time being, it's kind of it, more sort of a personal story today, just talking a little bit about my journey, stuff that I've been through. But if you guys do like this, if this is something you guys would like to see potentially added to the channel, it's not going to subtract from anything else, but if you kind of want me to maybe throw in the occasional fitness video for other things, then let me know. Let me know what you would like to know about, and I'll be more than happy to share that. But anyway, for the time being, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.